Yeah. This is AK.
The Sir Hans.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this episode of Stuck in the Middle.
Stuck in the Middle podcast, man.
Yeah.
Back at you with another one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Man, it's Sunday. How's everybody's weekend?
Man, weekend. Pretty cool, man. The weather has been great.
That's what's up.
Can't complain, you know what I mean? Birds ain't shitting on my car. Like they always doing. Hating.
This guy, man.
What about you, Flex?
I was in Miami on Friday.
You went to Miami for a day.
Yeah, man. Big ballin'.
Yeah.
Shout out to Stella Kinawa, man. She was the guest last week's podcast. You know, she invited me out there. I did a show.
How was that show, by the way?
Freak. It was good, man. It was good. It was Miami, man. It's hot and muggy, but they show love. They come out, and it's a great city, man. To just visit, I can't live there at all.
Definitely, me either.
You can't live there?
No.
Really?
Heck no.
Can't do Miami, B.
No.
Not happening.
Interesting.
But anyways, man, today's a great day.
Yeah, we're back at y'all again with another great
Episode.
and
We got
guest.
two today, by the way.
Two, yeah. Double trouble.
The hustle don't stop.
Yeah,
You know,
definitely.
definitely.
So, okay, tell them who we got in the building.
Man, today we got Koko and Nanga.
Yep.
Forbes magazine featured entrepreneur,
Mm.
designer, creator of Koko Nanga clothing brand. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Give her a round of applause.
You already know. Is that
Thanks
how
for
you say
having
it,
me.
by the way? Coco Nanga?
Yeah, Koko Nanga. That's the name of the brand.
Yeah, before we got on, Coco was like, "Nah, don't call me Coco. Call me Ma'am."
Everybody calls me Koko. My legal name does not exist anymore.
And what's your
Is
legal
that
name, by
bad?
the way?
even my family members call me Koko.
Oh, word. So what are your true names?
My first name is Marianne.
Marianne?
My last name is Mokoko. In the United States, they call it Makoko.
Mhm.
And my middle name is Inanga. So that's kind of where I derived the name for the brand Koko Nanga.
Oh, okay.
Is it
That's
my
dope.
name?
So I just chopped off the
I mean, your legal name. Yeah, that's your legal
my
name.
middle name.
Yeah, your legal name. Does it mean anything? Like,
My last name Makoko nothing. That I
Is
know
it
of.
that you don't
But
know?
my middle name means something.
And what does it mean?
It means sleeping beauty.
go ahead.
That's all adding
I'm
up.
not flexible.
Because
That's
I'm
what
gonna
it
say
is.
I'm gonna say I'm sorry, you know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna say you not liking the everybody calling you Coco or whatnot, but you should embrace that cocoa. Cause you know, like you just been dipped in cocoa, like the
Oh, nice.
richness of your skin, like
Thank
it's
you.
just
Go ahead, B. Preach.
No, she got beautiful skin. Dark chocolate, beautiful skin.
Thank you so
that's
much.
dope. Yeah, that's dope. I like the haircut too. Short.
I just
you know.
cut it like 3 weeks ago.
You had long hair.
I had natural hair, but I had it long, maybe like 6 times.
Wait. I just noticed something.
What's that?
Am I the only person sitting on this desk?
definitely.
We all have prints, so it's okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
some.
Well, thank God I don't wear mine because we would have been matching up here. But, you know,
It's cool to
anyway.
match.
And we're all wearing the men's shirt. I'm actually wearing one of the men's shirts.
It looks great.
But people say it's like unisex, so
Yeah, it looks
Yeah,
great. That's the thing. Like women can wear, like you could wear what Sir Hans got on, but
Mhm.
he can't wear like what you. Like,
Yeah. I don't think that's a men's shirt. That's definitely
it's just
a
because I
feminine.
hooked it up with a belt and everything.
Oh,
but
okay. Yeah.
but
Being
the
the
men's
fashion
vibe is-
designer that you are, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But welcome to the pod, man. We greatly appreciate you coming by.
Thank you. Thanks for
Yeah.
having me. You
No
guys
doubt.
are doing.
How was your
great.
ride coming in?
It was good traffic, but I'm glad I made it.
Came from VA, right?
Yeah, I came from Virginia.
But you live in North Carolina.
Yes. Yeah, I live in North Carolina.
How is it down there?
It's nice. It's quiet. Not a lot of people, no Cameroonians, but a lot of people from other countries.
Where'd you go?
I moved in 2011, just looking for a change of environment.
So what? So what do you do down there?
I work at Wells Fargo. I'm an IT consultant.
We gonna have to talk after this pod because I'm a Wells Fargo
Man.
customer. You
Yeah,
know?
I know, right?
What's up with my money?
Yeah, but yes.
Oh,
it's
man.
great.
Now let's get into the clothing brand.
Yes.
What sparked Koko Nanga?
Okay. I always tell people this. I can't truly say the Koko Nanga story without going backwards
Okay.
to something else. I used to be co-partner with another Cameroonian sister. Her name is Stephanie Mwapi.
Shout out to Stephanie.
Yes. And she and I, in about, I think 2006, we started a brand called Kotemino. So we spoke to each other about wanting to create a clothing brand to help us Africans in the diaspora and also second generation Africans feel comfortable about representing where they're from. It's a little difficult to do that. You can't really go to school, eating fufu just to show that you're African. You might be, you might have your accent and people can make fun of you. And I felt when I was in high school, because I moved here when I was in high school.
Yeah.
And just a little backlash, culture clash, people asking you silly questions like, "Oh, did you grow up with lions? Did you live on trees?"
Really? You had those questions?
Yeah, I told them, yeah, man.
I'm African, but I honestly, I never got that question.
I think it's changed over time. Because they used to call people booty scratch, African booty scratcher.
And you know what's crazy? It's the same people that's wearing dashikis now.
Well, they said orange was the new black, then black was the new black, and now wax is the new black.
But I don't think they really know the essence of dashiki.
Man, because it's cool now. Like back then when we was rocking it.
People don't, they don't.
So it's our duty to help our sisters to understand that. So back to my point is like, this whole notion of how can you represent where you are, feel proud to be where you're from, and the whole concept of wearable art. You walk around, they don't have to ask you twice. You have your swag, you have your African clothing, and everybody knows that you're African. And how to do it in a modern way, right? Because we used to have, our traditional wears, and you're like, I don't want to wear this. So, yeah.
I mean, personally speaking, I don't see anything wrong with traditional.
I remember one time in elementary school, they sent me to school with a country back, man.
Yo, I bet you would take that now to school, and you'd be the coolest. But back then, you were like, I don't want to.
I was vexed, dog.
Exactly.
Wax is the new black.
Yeah. Wax is the new black. Yes. Explain that.
Well, black was the new black at some point. The concept of it's cool to be black. Black excellence in all arts, in media and culture, as we see on TV, and people thought it was cool to be black, which is something that took time. Sports, and all different races are leaning into black culture, black pop culture. So black was the new black. But I think they stole it from the whole orange is the new black concept. Yeah. And now wax is the new black. Everybody wants to showcase their roots because we're all from Africa, right? Let alone African Americans in the US. So showcasing your roots and it's just gone skyrocketed. We're grateful to like a lot of big people like Beyonce, Gwen Stefani, and Solange, a lot of people that have helped kind of push this notion and made it comfortable and acceptable for mainstream.
Okay. See, I don't want to, I'm the renegade. I don't want to lean on them to give them credit. Like you made it cool. I'm like, yo, we got our been out here. We've been
out here, and personally, I've been out here since 2006. Right?
Stamp.
Yeah.
Shout out to you.
Yeah, and I've been doing this since 2006. Damn. But it only really picked up. The movement really only picked up when some of these people started wearing it. We were in our little niche of Africans and a few Americans, but it's gone to the point where even big time designers on Mercedes-Benz Fashion Week are sneaking in prints into their collections because wax is the new black.
It's funny, I was reading the article that was featured on Forbes magazine.
Yes.
And you were part of that article. Something stood out to me, and
shout out to Nina Roberts, by the way. She's the one who wrote the article.
Yeah, shout out to Nina. So I think it was Benin designer. She said, if anyone wears African print pieces as an African costume or of some sort, that becomes a problem. you know, and that was just, I mean, out of everything, that's what I took from it, because most people, let me say, during Halloween, for example, right? I don't want to see nobody rocking an African outfit saying, "Oh man, this is my costume," you know, because that's our
Your heritage.
yeah, you know, that's our heritage, that's our daily thing. You know, we wear it for fashion, we wear it for fun, we wear it because that's us
To celebrate who you are.
exactly.
Yeah.
So to see, you know, to see somebody who wears African print and say,
Bro,
"Yo,"
I ain't never heard anybody wearing African
seen
print
that.
for
well,
Halloween.
it's just an example.
Oh, okay.
It's just an example. You know, I'm just saying that nobody
So
should take
nobody
it
should
and
have
run it.
ideas out there to be wearing African wear for
And running their own way.
Yeah, being African is not scary.
Yeah, so I mean, being that you've been doing this since 2006, like, it's crazy because then it wasn't popular, you know what I mean? And for you to keep doing it up to this point and never waver to say, man, I'll move into something else, that showed that you was really passionate about this.
Yeah.
Like, what kept you going at that point back then when, like, no publicity was being shown into this niche market?
Well, Kotiminu was a little successful, I might say. So we did have support and encouragement from our network to keep us going. So even though it didn't, we just knew that one day it was gonna blow up. We just didn't know when or how soon. But we're very grateful for where this whole movement is nowadays.
So at that point in time, right? Did you guys have any mentors, like any people you guys looked up to?
Yeah. Right when we started, it was more like, okay, I knew that I was wanting to do fashion design, right? And we had talked about, you know, how we're going to go about it. Because there are a lot of African designers, but they don't use print, but they're referred to as African designers. Our mission was to make sure that people can feel comfortable wearing the cloth. So we took the wax as our staple cloth, right? So it could be mainstream across the African continent. But in terms of aesthetics, Iman Ayisi, he's Cameroonian. He's based in Paris. He's a model / designer. Was one of the people that, you know, I looked up to as a young designer. Deola Sago, she's from Nigeria. At the time, there weren't really a lot of like big names, right? But I felt like her work was really pristine, enough that I could, you know, look up to her as someone that has paved the way for people like us.
Do you design yourself?
Yes.
And what's the process like from, you know, like you're designing to somebody wearing it?
Yes. So typically I have my concepts of what I want to do. I make them and post them online for people to purchase. And then there are other times when we have people that want custom designs, or maybe you go on my website and you see something that you like, but it's not in your size. So I'll, you know, go ahead and ask you, hey, let's get your measurements. If you're not in town, because I do a lot of out-of-state custom requests, let's get your measurements. So if you're in town, I'll get your measurements for you. Would pick out your color scheme. And from there, you know, I'll show you some example fabrics. You choose the one, and then get the clothing made and have it shipped out to you.
So you more like in the tailor side of things where you catered to like a one-on-one customer.
I do both.
Service.
So there's custom tailoring, and then there's also the readily available stock items.
Okay.
So is it for just women, or are you doing both sex?
For a long time, it's been women, but everybody keeps harassing me. Come on now, what about the guys?
That's
wearing menswear.
discrimination.
That's
Okay.
the thing, man. Always
So, no, but guys, don't worry. I kind of sneaked in menswear. I did an Ankara Bazaar in New York City
Dope.
in February, I think. So, and I kind of sneaked in my menswear there.
Yeah.
And it was so cool because not a lot of people are doing menswear. So like everybody was coming to my booth and trying to see if
There
they
you
could-
go, do more, you know.
And I just everything. I didn't even take the professional pictures yet, and I just sold everything that I had.
Wow.
So more menswear to come. I'm excited because, you know, not just the women that have to celebrate culture. Everybody does,
So would
and
you-
men need variety as well.
Of course. I mean, would you get into doing shoes too, or you just gonna leave it
Shoes.
to clothing?
I was considering accessories. I don't know about shoes, but I'm young and I have ways to go. So
Okay.
maybe
Yeah, definitely.
shoes.
Definitely.
Yeah. I'm sure it'll be popping if I do.
It really would be though. I mean, yeah, it would be. You should.
From what I've seen, I don't
Okay.
doubt it. You know what I mean? From what I've seen from you so far, I don't doubt it.
Thank you.
We'll find a way to be very creative with it and make it work.
When you look at like Western culture, right? You see like like Zara or like H&M. They have like seasonal, like season. What's the word? Seasonal collections, right?
Mhm.
And I find it's hard with like Ankara, man. Like you know what I'm saying? Like I like layers. Like I like spring,
Mhm.
and I want to be able to layer. But with like fabric Ankara, like you don't. It's always like summertime only. So is that something you considering? Like like winter time, wear.
I've learned along the years, and the thing is, a lot of us we try to keep up because we don't have like a big team of people that make clothes for us. A lot of us that are starting, we don't have that capacity. So getting clothes readily available may be difficult, but I know I do try. If you like check what I call my portfolio on Instagram, like around summer, spring season, the clothes could be lighter than what you would see in the fall, winter, right? I do custom orders for like trench coats, jackets, longer sleeve clothing around the fall, winter, and then more looser things. There are a lot of people that they like wearing longer sleeve because they like to cover themselves up. So to them, the weather doesn't matter. But yeah, so
The
but
prints,
we
right?
have to try to make sure that we follow the season, so it the whole thing makes sense.
Definitely. The prints, right? I read somewhere you said you get your prints from Ghana, and China too has been creating a lot of Ankaras and all whatnot. African
Yo,
prints.
I'll tell you this:
So-
China, when they see a market on the rise, they will dip their hand
Chinese
in
people
so
fry
fast.
for
Like
in my
it's-
country on
it's
the
so,
roadside.
like crazy.
They're very industrious people, so we have to look at them and see what we can learn from how they do business, so that we can also progress just the way they do. Yeah,
Definitely.
they're very industrious
I mean,
people. Yeah.
We have to work hard, pretty much, because that's what they do.
So all your material they come from Ghana, or you?
I don't know where you heard that. I never said that. I think maybe Ghana was amongst a list of other countries.
Gotcha.
I think two people have interviewed me in relation to that. I think it was more so like, what's the scheme of things? Ghana, Senegal, Western Africa, Nigeria.
So where do you get your
Sometimes
prints from?
batik. I get my prints locally, in Charlotte,
Okay.
and also I get them online. And if I happen to travel, sometimes I bring back fabric. But the whole fabric thing is so readily accessible. You guys live in Maryland area, and you know how like they have stores everywhere. You can get
farmers
fabric
market.
everywhere.
Well,
So
but educators, what would be the biggest region in Africa that produces Ankara material?
I wouldn't know the biggest region, but there are some countries in Africa that are well known, or some regions in the country that are well known for like fantastic print. Senegal is number one. South Africa is another one. In Nigeria, I know in the northern section that they have very good prints. There are a lot of people who migrate from Lagos to buy like really beautiful fabrics there. That's what I know. I know about Nigeria, Senegal, South Africa, and obviously in Cameroon we have great fabrics as well.
So in terms of
Talking
texture,
about Holland wax, right? Not other traditional prints.
so is there different in texture?
In
Like,
texture, yeah.
where we
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
just gonna ask that.
Yeah, because Ghanaians, they have woodin. It's a little silkish, not silkish, but like slipperish. And the way they did the woodin, or they've taken on to the woodin aesthetic, is they kind of give it a shine to it. So if you see fabrics with shine to it, it's most likely from Ghana. Ghana has their typical kente, the geometric prints, do it in a variety of colors.
Yeah.
In Mali, Senegal, they can use like batik.
I gotta take notes to read.
Because like I was in Cameroon in December,
Yes.
and I was like, man, I'm shopping for all my stuff, and like I was with my cousin. I picked up a fabric. He was like, "Nah, that's not that one to be original." So you, how do you when you people touch it and then know, like is that looking for you? You don't want to wear it. It breaks.
I think the most original is like Vlisco quality is very heavy. I think the company that does it, they take their time, but they're copies. So they'll be like the fabrics that are like $60, 60, 70 euros Visco. Then you would have, your Julius Holland wax will be like maybe $40. And then you can have like, some other prints that are a lower quality of the Holland wax, and those would be like $20 to $15.
Ladies and gentlemen, she knows her stuff. She ain't just out here selling stuff online.
Definitely know, man.
She ain't just out here putting stuff online to sell. She know her stuff.
Yeah, she's
like you went to school for this.
Well, you don't have to go in a classroom to be educated, right?
Definitely.
So sometimes you
Definitely.
get educated based on your experience.
Speaking of education, you said you have a degree in
Architecture and
Architecture
design
and
from
design
Howard
from
University.
Howard
It's
University.
you.
Hey.
So how did you get to Wells Fargo with that?
Wells Fargo. Well, it's a long story, but I graduated in 2008, and it was really difficult for me to find a job. I think it was around that whole crisis thing, the market
Yeah,
crashing.
Shout out to Obama for turning it around, man.
Amen. But it was really, I applied to so many places, and I have to admit, I in school, it took me a long time to begin my internships, and now I just went back to Howard recently.
That's why you're here.
Yeah, a part of the reason why I'm here. And I met a lot of people around campus, and I was, talking to people, and like, guys, anybody who's in university right now, if you're in a profession where you kind of can take internships, I would advise you to do it like in your second year, to guarantee that you have some kind of hands-on experience before you start applying as an entry-level position
Very
in
important.
the market. So take internships seriously, reach out to your professors, and find out ways by which you can get into some kind of internship. But back to your Wells Fargo question. So what happened was I began thinking, okay, let me see what else I can do, right? So I restructured myself. I took some training courses. I studied for the BA Business Analysis program. I took the exam, and then just went out and began work. I kind of had experience while I was at Howard. One of the projects that I worked on was a consulting project, more urban development consulting. So I kind of had some experience and understanding of the language of business consulting. And so by the time I got my next position in a healthcare company, it was kind of easy to like transition those skills. And then I moved to Charlotte. And recently, after I moved, I got a job at Wells Fargo. But I tell people that architecture to fashion design to IT is the same language. I learned the same skills and I just replicated it over and over, right? You have a client who wants something. So you would inquire about them, what they want. You document it, right? Have some feedback with them to improve on what it is that they want, and then you hand it over for a contractor developer to build. And that's pretty much what I do at work, and it's kind of the same skills that I'm replicating.
Doing all of this, right? Like in not finding work after school to, like packing up shop, moving down to Charlotte and all that, and like still running the business. Was there ever a time where you were like, man, like I'm stuck, I don't have a way out, you know what I mean?
I got asked this question before, and I might sound like, well, I mean, there are times that I felt down, but I have a very strong spirit. So I also felt very encouraged. And I try my best to surround myself around people that can keep me up. And I was lucky enough to have a good support system. I was not always, doing great. But I guess my advice there would be, if you find yourself in a low place, don't try to sit there and figure it out on your own. Try to see how you can reach out to people that can lift you up, so that you can get out of where you are. It was a big transition for me to get into IT consulting. A big step for me to leave Maryland. A lot of my friends were here, and to go to somewhere where I don't really know anybody than my family members. But that support system helped me a lot to push me to be where I was aspiring to be.
Wow, that's great, man. That's great. That's what you say. They could put you in the jungle and you gonna come back with food.
I try to not let my spirit down. You have moments when you're down, yeah, but after a few days you pick yourself up and and you're on a mission, man. You gotta make it work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. So being that you working for Wells Fargo now, I'm in my head. I'm just having an idea, and I'm thinking, oh man, you could probably get some investors, going to Africa, and like you said, the Chinese are very industrial. I feel like you could open up a factory, like an Ankara making factory, and from that. I know one company, I don't know if it's in Denmark or whatever, that does Ankara print, and I guess they like distributors or something. It was in that article too, and I'm like, why does he have to be in Denmark or Europe or something? It could be in Africa, because most of the time I see people doing the Ankara like in their backyard or something like that. But it would be nice to have a very big factory that puts out a lot of volume.
Yep.
Because the world is
It's
gravitating to that Ankara business,
For sure.
So
do you market to reach Africa, or is it just here in the diaspora?
Here in the diaspora, not in Africa yet. I mean, I ship everywhere. So if someone is interested in purchasing my clothes, they can. But I know I would be expanding. My dream is to have a store in my home country, a physical store. There are a lot of people that are starting to do that are paving the way for people like us.
Right.
So
in terms of like the shipments, right? I've always been thinking how small businesses like you and other people in your range, how they calculate all the shipments and all whatnot. So let's say I was in the UK right now, and I ordered something from your site. What is the how much do you charge in terms of shipment? Like, is it included in the the purchase and all whatnot?
Sure. When I kind of started Koko Nanga, because I think when we're doing Kotemino, most of our orders were local. But when I started doing Koko Nanga, I was like, oh, I know sometimes when people have their brands and they want to ship, you like, oh, you pay so much for shipping. So I said, I'm going to have like a flat rate, $5 flat rate for like US. And then if it's outside of US, then I'll tell them, hey, let me get a quote and I'll let you know how much it costs. But I was thinking like maybe $25 for some kind of ground. But with the patterns that I've had with out of town shipments, I would say it will average about $12 to $15 for US orders. And that'll be like a 2-day shipping type thing. And like maybe 20 to 25 for international.
Okay.
Where's the most of your traffic coming from? Like, I don't know if you can gauge that, but is it like Maryland or
everywhere? The power of social media. Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of orders from LA, a lot of orders from New York. I've had Alabama. I've had Miami. I've had some cities that I've never been to, and it's so cool because they're wherever they are, and it's so difficult maybe for them to find maybe a tailor that can make them clothes or even see African fabric. Like Maryland is blessed. You guys have abundance of everything.
This is the hub,
Yes.
okay? When you come to America, if you don't touch that in Maryland, you haven't been to America.
Yep. New York, Miami.
I disagree strongly.
New York, Miami.
Maryland is like Africa, man. Don't come here.
Well, the diversity is a great thing, right? So you have to, I always look at the positive things in everything. And if there's a negative, I learn from it and see how I can improve based off of the lessons learned there. But a lot of people are in cities where, they don't have access to these things. And when they see my work, they say, hey, let me reach out to her and I make a custom look for them. And I've gained a lot of, frequent customers in that fashion.
So in this year, right, have you attended any exposés like to showcase your?
Yeah, I was just gonna ask about
showcase
Howard
your-
University. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
they have the Y'all Fest. I wonder
Of
if you.
course.
It would be nice for you to like showcase your work over there.
Yeah. They have around Howard Homecoming. It's so funny. When I went to Howard, they were like, oh my gosh, you need to talk to the Howard, Homecoming folks so they can put you on their show. So Howard Homecoming, hopefully I'll call you guys and you guys will accept me to
Howard,
come.
you guys.
But yeah, Howard.
Go and speak into existence.
Yeah, amen. So I have done a couple of shows this year. We're in March, right?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
No, wait.
We're in May.
April.
We're about to be in May next,
We're
and
in
like
May, bro.
tomorrow.
You
Yeah,
May,
tomorrow,
yeah.
tomorrow. We may.
Yeah,
tomorrow.
but
My birthday May 5th, you know what I'm saying?
oh, nice.
Turn up.
Happy birthday in advance to you.
Thank you.
Koko Nanga's birthday is May 20th, so I'll be in LA on that day. So
In LA.
Yeah.
What
you
you
been
got
doing that day?
planned? What you got planned for LA?
I'm there for Koko Nanga, not me. I have my own birthday. When I have my birthday, I'll do my own. Yeah.
Yeah, what's in LA though for?
UCLA Fowler Museum. They just had an African print fashion now series that they have at the museum, and they had their launching, I think, last month. I dressed Donio. She's on Instagram. I dressed her there to go to that event, and they have a series for that. The series runs for a couple months. They're having a pop-up shop, and I was invited to come and showcase my stuff and buy it there.
Do you have a team?
I have some really good friends that I work with. They're small, like maybe 5 of us. I reach out to. What I do is I have my people. Let me call them my people, and my
Your plugs.
Yes, they've been there since day one type thing, and each of them has their strengths, and I work with them based on their strengths, right? So like, I have one person that I have one assistant, but we're not going that huge way like we could. Hopefully, as time progresses, I'll be able to have more.
You won't get there. You won't get there.
The reason why I ask is because the amount of work that you're doing right
not
now,
easy.
it's like you would think you got a, you know what I'm saying, a huge team, man.
It's not easy, but I do have like people that I lean on for support. Yeah.
Shout out to them, man.
Yeah.
They're good
Shout out
people.
to them. Yep.
Black girl magic party.
Mm-hmm.
Could you tell us a little bit about? I don't know if you participated in that before, but I'm really interested in knowing what that is and what
Black girl magic. I think from the interview they were talking about like the hashtag more so than an event. It's a trending hashtag us ladies put on our Instagrams, Black girl magic. So I think Nina Roberts interviewed someone and they were talking about that black empowerment movement and how that has, made people to feel very confident about being black and being woman and being strong. There's magic in being a black woman.
Nice. So do you guys like the women who do the Ankara stuff, like you actually call each other to like have conferences and sit and talk about what's next, what you guys could possibly be doing next year or the year after next?
So what I've noticed, we don't really to answer your question. The answer is no in my experience. But we go to a lot of events and we meet each other. Maybe sometimes for the first time, sometimes for the second time, and we try to network. Sometimes we reach out to each other and say, "Hey, give me a contact if there's an event. I'll keep you posted on it," and so forth, or what have you. So, but yeah, that's what we do. Try to network and see how we can and help each other. But a lot of times I go to different events and I meet new people all the time, and I try my best to network with people because you never know tomorrow. You never know what I have that could be beneficial to you, what you have that could be beneficial to me as well.
Network. So we talk about social media and how it's putting things out there, but networking still is a great power. I think.
Yeah, Koko. With that, I want to ask. I always ask our guests this: what was the trigger that you was like, you know what, I want to do fashion?
That's
doing
a
fashion.
touching question for me.
Ankara is what I want to do. Like, what was it?
Yeah. So this happened in 2006. It was like my second year in college, and that year the year before that, my mom had a stroke. My mom is a very strong figure in my family, very strong figure for me. I learned a lot as a driven person just watching my mom. And she had a stroke, but it did not change the type of person that she was. I would look at her, I'm like, wow, I think you're even stronger than me. Watching you to be like, how can I lift you up? She was so driven. She just never gave up. And she never let anything get her down. She had her weak moments, of course. She would, cry and like.
But you rarely saw it.
No, I saw it, but she was resilient, right? And I'm like, life is short. Anything can happen. And at the time, I used to be a very passive person, quiet, Now I'm this fashion thing has brought my bold game up, right? Because a lot of things that I've been feeling, I just wear this. I don't have to tell you that I feel cool about myself. Just the way I put myself together, what I am, by what I wear, it helps me to not have to talk about it, right? So, but when that whole incident happened with my mom, I spent a lot of time thinking about like, what is gonna be what I can do? How can I be like strong like my mom? And I referred back to like the passions that I had in high school. I used to sketch a lot. I had like a big notebook, tons of sketches of women in different clothes. And I was like, you know what? It's about time to stop turning this into a hobby and turn this into a business and lifestyle.
Major key.
Yeah,
very major key.
So it was an aha moment. I was like down in school, working on one of my projects for architecture, and I was just thinking about my life. I was just thinking about my mom, and I was like, it's funny. I started sketching, right? Because it's kind of like my stress thing, and I was like, you know what? This needs to stop being a hobby. Yeah. And that moment, then, I reached out to Stephanie. I was like, I think I want to do fashion design.
Man.
And she felt the same way. And we said, we've been friends for so long. Let's do it together.
So your mom, has she fully recovered?
She has not fully recovered. So her right side is paralyzed. Like she can stretch out her arms, but she can't wiggle her fingers yet. But she can cook. She can clean. She has more memory than I do. Sometimes when parts of your body is down, other parts, tune up. And I think that happens to her a lot as well. But
and saying that pushes you to be stronger and actually thrive in what you're doing, right?
Yeah. Shout out to Mom C.
Mom, Mama Esther.
Mama Esther.
Hey,
one of my friends calls her Maman du Cooks.
Is she with you in North Carolina?
No, she's actually back home.
Okay, dope. When's the last time you were home?
She's based in Nigeria because my family went to Nigeria my dad used to do some work there. So I recently went to Nigeria last year. Hopefully I'll go this year again.
Nice.
How was it coming up in Cameroon?
It was really nice.
When did you move here? I don't know if you... When did you move here to the States?
I moved when I was 14.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm sure all of you guys can relate. Growing up as a child, it can be different than growing up as a child here. Here, too much security. You can't go out and play with your friends. So we had that back home. We have that. Sometimes we have that luxury of being a child, having fun, playing with your friends, enjoying childhood. Even though we had responsibilities, lots of responsibilities, a lot of structure. I went to Seka Baptist College for my middle and I guess pre-high school, because here now they have high school. And, it helped teach me how to be structured as an individual, how to be responsible. So you have that whole freedom of playing as a child. Then now you're structured. Then when you come here, I came here when I was 14. I started high school, and they're asking me, did you learn how to speak English right before you came? And did you like walk with lions to school every day? And I told them, yep. I had 3 lions. Okay, I sleep on the tree. I told them.
Koko is fierce.
I was not. Man, I laid it to them. So I was like, nobody's gonna touch my Africa on me. I'll tell you, if you want to play, the game, I'll play the game too.
In that vein, right? I want to ask you this: what is Afropolitan to you?
Yes, Afropolitan. Afropolitan is not a word that was just recently invented. It's been out for a long time, like in the 2008 and so forth. A lot of fashion shows, Afropolitan fashion show. I think the true nature of the term Afropolitan means you're a neo-African. Like you think about Metropolis, like a city type African person, Afropolitan. But I like to coin that word as someone who has an affinity for Afro culture. If you go to New York, you see all kinds of people, going to, not necessarily fashion, going to like Afro bars, listening to Afro music at the restaurants and like, yeah, I'm digging this, eating African food, things like that. So to me, anyone who has an affinity for Afro culture is Afropolitan. And I've learned throughout my experience that you do not have to be Black to be Afropolitan. You just clearly have to have love and passion for the African continent. A lot of people have been to Africa, all kinds of ages, grandmas in the 60s and 70s, people that went to do missionary work and fell in love with the continent, the people they met there, the culture and their lifestyle, people that are going there now for some kind of like internship at school. So all kinds of age groups, right, outside of the Black race can also be Afropolitan.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely. Like you say, the African continent is creeping up on everybody, you know what I mean? And I have this wild dream that we should have like a documentary that tells our story, not something where it gets diluted to fit another person, another racist narrative.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
What is Africa by Africa?
Yeah. So
there's so much to learn.
Yeah, because especially with the anchor, that's like where we come from. Like we birth, and that's what they carry us and as kids. So we come from that fabric. That's us.
When we had our cultural dances, that's what we wore. It's our heritage, and so many people. I sometimes I get a little agitated when people, term Africa as a country. My country, I'm from Cameroon, and my country alone has 325 different languages, right? So you can just imagine the diversity there, and imagine about 50-something different countries in the continent. The variety is just exponential, right? There's so much to learn than what we see on TV, some National Geographic type depiction of Africa.
Okay. Quick question. Did you have the opportunity to go to MIT?
I went to MIT 2 weeks ago. They had a Cameroonian group had an event called the Okwele series.
Okay.
Okwele is one of the ethnic groups in Cameroon. It's a term in the Douala region, means to have a dialogue. So the whole purpose of the event was to have a dialogue about, things in Africa. The series was titled "The Cameroon You Don't Know," and I was like, wow, I'm from Cameroon. I think I know a lot about Cameroon. So I'm really curious to find out what is it that I really don't know about my country, and we learned a lot. I was one of the panelists there, representing fashion and unusual careers. We also had Stanley Eno. He's is an award-winning musician in Cameroon. We had this lady called Madel Kanga. She has a company where she helps to teach and educate young Cameroonians. She's actually based in Cameroon. Startup Jumpstart Africa Academy. And then we had some people in the engineering space, in the political space. We also had Jean-Victor Okolo. He was he is a special advisor to the UN for Africa, and he's Cameroonian. Gotcha. So they try to have some diversity in walks of life to help ask questions about, the Southern Cameroon's issue, unusual careers, how we can be leaders in the continent. And even me, a panelist, I learned so much just listening to each other and our speakers about what the discussions that. So
is there a video out there like on YouTube where people could go?
I don't think they had a video. They probably have snippets of it, but they're on Facebook, Okwele North America. I think the group started in Paris, and then they have a Cameroon branch, and then they just started a North America branch. This is their 3rd edition. So
gotcha. Yeah. Okay, I have a quick Q&A for you, and it's just a quick thing. So when you're not thinking clothing, right? What are you doing like on your day to day?
It's very intertwined. I have family I take care of.
Like you married?
No,
Okay.
Are you the oldest?
I'm the oldest from my mom, the second oldest from my dad.
Okay, cool. Gotcha.
Yeah. So I work, family stuff for my house, hold. I travel a lot as well. You know, I think like most people, I just plug in the whole fashion thing there. That takes up some time out of my day.
Basically, work takes up most of your time.
Yeah. So I have 2 jobs. You clock out of one, you jump on the next.
Yeah.
Fine.
How would you like to see your brand grow in the next, let's say 2017 to 2018?
Yes. He mentioned the whole concept of having some kind of a fashion house. So I'm working on having that. It's important for me, and it's important for my clients to be able to produce the best work possible. And I think that avenue helps to facilitate that. Right now, I'm just working to see how I can make my way to that mass production. I'm also working towards collaborating with other people to have my work in their stores and eventually have a store of my own. Not sure where, but I love LA. So hopefully not in 2018, but very soon.
Loving you.
LA, Charlotte, New York, DC.
I want to move to Charlotte, by the way. We can talk about it after.
Okay, sure.
Best advice you ever got?
I've had a lot.
In terms of, like your clothing.
The one you really hold dear to your heart.
Okay. Best advice I've ever had is to never let anybody tell you can't. Meaning be limitless. Say no to the naysayers. So that whole notion of you can, yes you can, the whole Obama yes you can thing. Dream big, right? Don't ever let anybody tell you that where you are is where you will always be. There's nothing beyond that. There is push your boundaries to dream big, and I think that has been like my motto and the thing that keeps me going, to push myself harder and harder from where I was yesterday.
Gotcha. And worst advice you've ever had?
Worst advice? Let me think.
Why are you thinking about
you just as soon as you
I forget the worst advice.
You just throw them in the trash.
I do. I really can't remember. Okay. I'm sure they've been, but I put them in the trash.
And close in 5 years, like just you as a person, not the brand, just you as a person.
As a person?
Years,
in the next 5 years?
In the next 5 years, yes.
So I feel like there's this quote that says there are 2 important days in your life: the day you were born and the day you know what it is, why you were brought to this earth. Those are the 2, not the day you die. The day you know why you were brought to this earth and the day you were born. And I'm a godly person, and I immerse myself in that enough to keep me inspired. And I feel like part of my calling as a human is to be an advocate for women, to help, empower women. So I feel like on a personal level, I would like to be able to do things that can help women be empowered, not necessarily with fashion, but in other dimensions as well. So I foresee myself in the next 5 years being that kind of a person. And maybe fashion will be that platform that helps get me there.
Okay. And the last question: what advice would you have for young women who want to join the entrepreneurial line?
Young women that are trying to be entrepreneur. Okay. I would say that you should be clear about what it is that you want to do and just stick to it. Spend enough time trying to define who it is, what kind of a entrepreneur that you want to be. A lot of us, we could jump from one thing to the next because we think it's trending. But if we spend a lot of time trying to figure out, define what it is that you want and just stick to it, again, have mentors that reach out to you, dream big, stay focused, stay driven. Being driven, and you have to, when you have to pick something that you're passionate about, because when you do that, it makes it easy for you to apply skills, because it's innate, it's in you. And but if you get down, stay driven. If you stay down, try to reach out to people that can help bring you up, and keep people that are the naysayers away from you.
Man, dope.
Yeah.
Really dope.
Really dope, man. Appreciate you coming.
Thank you.
We're going, switch segments right now and get into our new segment.
Okay. Thanks for having me, by the way. This is really great.
Yeah. Appreciate you coming through. Wait, people, Koko Nanga on Instagram.
Instagram, I'm on Twitter, Facebook, at Koko Nanga for each of those. My Facebook is Koko Nanga Official. I also have a website, www.kokonanga.com. You can reach me via email, info@kokonanga.com.
Yeah, you guys go on her online store.
Yes.
And check out her pieces, man. You won't be disappointed.
Cop something.
And
Man.
Spread that wealth, man.
Yes, sir, man. First malaria vaccine to be widely tested in Africa, 2018. We just had Stella last week, since she's advocating for malaria.
It's funny she was here. I was hearing all of that going on because I listened to the BBC and I was like, wow,
yeah, that's pretty huge, man. Yeah, and also so this baseball player is the first African to reach the Major League Baseball, man. His name is Gift Ngope.
What team he play for?
He plays for the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Ooh.
Yeah, they brought him off they brought him off the bench. I think it was 2 days ago, and he contributed, and they actually got a dub. So, and he's from South Africa, first African player to reach the Major League.
Dope.
Yeah, shout out to Give and Gopi, man. I hope I really pronounced that well. And last but not least, man, y'all boxing fans?
Yeah, Anthony Joshua.
Tack.
Yeah, he
They can look at us like what you
Big ups to Anthony Joshua. You did your thing, bro.
You did your thing, man. Knocking off Vladimir Klitschko.
Yeah, on to the next.
You almost got that. You almost had that.
I think
you got it.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah, man. That's that's huge, man. Shout out to people out here doing it, man, paving the way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's the news, man. This week.
Oh, and a quick correction from last week, when you mentioned about the whole car production thing.
Yeah.
What was it?
Yeah, in Cameroon car manufacturing,
Yeah. It's actually designed and manufactured in China, and they send the parts to Cameroon, Kribi, where it's assembled, and then distributed to other countries in Africa. So
yeah, shout out to all the people in the continent of Africa. Love, peace. You know what I mean? I love y'all, man. Internet's back on in the Southwest region. We love them there, man, because
and Bamini too.
All the young ones is gonna start listening back to us. You know what I mean? All love, baby.
Too.
Now, Koko, you gonna lace us up with some products?
Yes.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Shoot, I'm about to shop, man.
But
you gotta support a business. I can't just be on here and be like, lace us up, like this is job.
No.
There's no job. I will buy my stuff.
I gotta get my uncle game up, you know.
I will buy my stuff.
Yes, so thank you. We need that. We're not celebrities. We're just trying to hustle. So we definitely need your support as much as you guys encourage us as we make milestones in our careers. The support is needed.
That's what the podcast is about. Appreciate you coming on.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Let them know how they can find us, man.
Man, they can reach us on every social media platform at SITM Podcast. That's SITM Podcast. And our email is stuckinthemiddle237@gmail.com. Feel free to, send us your comments, questions, concerns, anything you need, anything you want, And also send us questions, man. Like, go on our social media, we always post our next coming entrepreneur, artist, whichever, just send us some questions so we could ask them, get engaged.
And hit the website too, www.sitmpodcast.com.
Definitely.
Ladies and gentlemen, you've been listening to Stuck in the Middle. We appreciate you joining us.
We out.
Yeah.
We out.
Yeah.